Spintex. Bedu, good morning.
Good morning. Please, how are you doing?
Not bad at all. Thank you so much for calling us.
Yeah. In fact, what the question I'm asking this morning is that is the government waiting for drivers or a TPRG to come or go on strike before they can do something about this? Which kind of country are we in? We are citizens of this country, but we are living like we are slaves. It's very, very, very bad. It's very, very, very bad. Right now, the whole world, the only people that their voice are being heard is the media. Please, we need you people to come out. You people know the right thing. You people know what is going on. It's like everybody is afraid to say something because, like, if the person says something, at the end of the day, the person is going to be arrested or something. But you people should come out so that we can make this country a better one. I beg. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Bedu. Do we still have Bedu on the line? Because I want to ask you something. Are you there? No, we've lost Bedu. I wanted to ask him what he thinks of the outcome of the meeting. We'd love to know what you think. Call us 0302 216 541, or you can try 05511 11997. Okay? So 0302 216 541 or 055 1111 997. Ben is in Adenta. Hi, Ben. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Thanks for calling, Ben.
Thank you very much for the and thanks also for the program you guys are hosting, which is good. Talking about this, harboring on it, and letting us also contribute. Now, yesterday I was speaking about the OMCs engaging in criminal activity, and I use the word criminal, and Winston took me off air because according to him, unless you are convicted in a court of law, you are not a criminal. And I disagree totally with that assertion because you can have people who are criminals by virtue of what they do. Their activities can tell you if you are not an island here in Ghana. Cote d'Ivoire is there, Burkina Faso, Togo, Nigeria. We all have. We even have the coast. So the ship comes right to our coast, and our fuel minus the taxes is still too high. So let's scrutinize this. And how come the Guan is able to reduce it by the 15 pesos or percent or whatever you guys are saying? Because I'm yet to go there to find out what really the situation is. It means that the fuel can come down, but they are just increasing it. And I used the COVID-19. You can check. This is evidence. Where crude prices came down drastically, and in Ghana it never came down drastically. Senor was saying the CEO or whoever of the bulk oil distributing chamber or whatever they call themselves. You guys never questioned him as to why we are paying so much minus taxes, but they will come and tell us that the taxes are too much. I agree that the taxes are too much, but that is red herring. Red herring simply means that they are taking our attention away from their own activity, and ASEC is on record to have indicated that the oil marketing companies are shortchanging us. So if you are shortchanging us, is that not a criminal activity? Are you not?
Once again, I'm having to correct you. You can only call someone a criminal once the court has convicted them. It's okay to share your views. It's okay to say that you think there's something wrong with it, but until a court convicts them of a crime, you can't call them a criminal. Certainly not on our platform. I hope you understand, Ben. All right, let's talk to Claude, who's in Tema. Hi, Claude. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. How are you doing?
Not bad at all. Thank you for calling.
Yes, I think we need to commend the government and GOL for the reduction. In business, you can reduce your price and then sell more to cover up for the losses you have made if you were selling at a high price. And I think that is what the media should do. Let everybody know that GOL, which is a government-owned OMC, has reduced its prices. Everybody should go to GOL. Yeah, others will be under pressure to also reduce, and that is best business practice. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Claude. Just for education, is it accurate to call GOIL the government's own OMC?
Well, government has, based on the shareholding structure, government has 35%. Other entities, Senate has about 24%, Post has about 20%. And so, on the face of it, yes, the majority shareholder is government, but government doesn't have a controlling stake in GOIL. If you look at government of Ghana, if you add the government agencies to it, we would say then government has a controlling stake in it.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. Ajman Joseph is in Tema. Hi, Ajman Joseph.
Uncle Joe, afternoon, wonderful.
Yeah, it's good to hear from you, bro.
Yeah. I think I'm satisfied with what has transpired. But my real problem is that government supposed to have listened to them earlier before they were embarking on this strike. I quite remember they started talking about it. So immediately they raised their eyebrows, and the government knows that something can be done. They should have called them earlier, sat them down, then Jojo, they discussed about it. It's not always, it shouldn't be an issue of let's go to strike before we listen to you. No. But now I've understood that something can be done, which is not going to affect the government. So I think it's a good call.
Okay.
God will do for a good work.
Thank you, Ajman Joseph. Let's stay in Tema. Here's Kobe. Hi, Kobe. Good morning.
Good morning, Kojo.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Andy.
Not bad. God is in control.
Kojo, with this fuel issue, I have just a little to say. I know, like Winston was saying, that Ghana has about 35% stake in GOIL. But I realize that most of the time when fuel prices goes up, GOIL and Total are the first to increase their prices. And why are they now today the first to reduce prices? At least they are supposed to maintain prices for the others to increase it. Then people will go to GOIL to buy, like Claude said in Tema. So that's my take.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Kobe. Let's go to Choco. Hi, Kwame.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah. So tell us what you're thinking about this meeting between the transport unions and government. Are you satisfied with the outcomes?
Oh, I'm not. Because, some of the OMC, when it comes to Ashama area, their prices even below the 6.7, they give it to God. And some people are saying that those OMCs, they are selling inferior products. And so there is an indictment on the regulator. So to me, if we really want to show some sort of concern to the drivers, the price should have been below, maybe 6.5, so that it will be the least price in the market. So to me, I'm not satisfied. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Kwame. Thanks very much. Kwashiman is our next stop. Lots of calls from Accra today. Nick Bakpo, Tete. Please, that was the extent of my gun. I have run out. It's good to have you, Nick Bakpo.
Consult Sami.
Sorry?
Consult Sami.
I will. I'll have to. So tell us what you're thinking.
Yes, when it comes to these issues, I don't sympathize with the drivers' unions a bit because they don't sympathize with commuters. Anytime fuel prices goes up, they are in a hurry to scale up their fare. When it comes down, they don't do that, and they introduce so many articles and elements to justify why they don't have to reduce. True or false? Could you?
Yes, I'm listening.
Yes, you know what I'm talking about. That is what they do. They will come and tell you about the dollar rate, come and tell you about how much they pay for clearing, and all of those elements. That's to justify why they should not reduce. So when they start crying like this, that taxes should come, let the taxes come down today. They will find something to tell us why they shouldn't reduce their price, their fare. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kwame. It's interesting what people are sharing. Generally the idea of a price coming down seems to be going down favorably. But there are issues about the element of this and the sustainability of this and the principle behind it and why it had to take a strike, and so forth. So people are taking very interesting positions on this.
Exactly, Kojo. But let's get to Kwame from Katamanso. Kwame, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling us, Kwame. What are your thoughts on this?
I think that it's good that the prices have been reduced. It's good for the ordinary Ghanaian. But the question is that, is it the best solution out of the problem? Now, let's look at it this way. If the prices continue to go up, either because of increase in crude on the world market or depreciation of the cedi, how long will it take for this reduction to be eroded? Number two, if government is asking gold because it has a higher stake in gold to reduce the prices, how sustainable? Now, if gold is going to sell at that price, would they still be making margins to keep them running? If they are going to sell and they will not be making margins, would government not be distorting the industry's performance? Because it means that other players, private players, may be forced to reduce their prices. And in the end, it may affect their operations. Now, if gold should make losses, government in the long run can pump money into gold to sustain them. But the private person, how would the private person get, resources to resuscitate their businesses if government through this measure will create an unfair competitive environment for the private sector? I think that it's good the price has come down, but let's look at the operational ability. Yes.
That's an interesting point, actually. And I mean, is it accurate that government can pump money into gold to sustain it if they make losses? I mean, thinking about it, Winston, this is reducing gold's profit margin.
Yes.
Right? That's going to be the direct effect of this. Yeah. Can gold operate at this reduced profit margin, and for how long?
Well, I mean, you've asked a very important question, and that's what the coming months and weeks will determine. Because when you look at, and one of the things I've been looking is to look at the ex-refinery price, and that would take into consideration, the cost of the refined fuel you're bringing into the country, the freight and insurance and everything that you would have to pay. And so the BDCs will determine these prices. Now, it varies, but I'll look for, I'm using GOIL's rate, for instance, for, petrol. That is 227 pesos. And when I say 227, I'm just talking about 2 cedis, 20 pesos per liter. Okay, and if you look at the taxes and other margins on it, you're looking at taxes taking us to about 198 pesos, so 1.98 pesos. Then there is the UPFF of 29 pesos, so that would take us to some 227. So the ex-refinery is 429, 429. Right. Now, let's do some bit of calculation here. If you add these, you're looking at about 656. You ask yourself the simple question. When it was at 685, that's 6 cedis, 85 pesos, you had a margin of 29 pesos.
Okay.
And this margin of 29 pesos will be shared between the marketing, and so when it comes to the price, build-up, the marketing margin and the dealer margin is decided by the marketing and dealers.
Right.
Okay. But it's normally maximum between 50 to 70 pesos.
Okay.
But others also reduce it. And so you've seen some, oil marketing companies having very reduced ones because they use their margins as a way of, gaining competitive advantage over others.
Yeah.
Good. Now, under the circumstances, if you look at what we have now, we're looking at 14 pesos as
following the
reduction.
Yeah, so from 29 pesos to 14.
We're coming to 14 pesos, which is supposed to be shared between the dealers and the marketers, or marketing companies. Yeah. The question you ask yourself is this enough to actually deal with their cost? Operational costs. Is this enough to deal with it? That's something the coming weeks will determine, and when they begin to file their returns and indicate their profit margins for the year, we would find out. But one of the callers asked a very important question. Now, what we are faced with now is that, look, when it comes to the ex-refinery price, when price on the world market goes up, it would affect it. When the cedi depreciates against the dollar, it would affect it. The question is, if today, and now we know that the world market price is around $70, and so if it goes down, automatically it will go down.
Yeah.
But if it goes up, for instance, can GOIL say, I am not going to reduce and I'm going to increase? There is a substantive problem we're not dealing with. And the question people are asking, and I also ask, is this not a quick fix? How about dealing with the main problem? The main problem is that, one, we must begin to deal with our depreciating cedi. We must also begin to deal with taxes. Can we, for instance, set a rate for exchange rate when it comes to the importation of oil? And so we know that, okay, when it comes to persons who are importing crude oil into the country, we would want them to buy dollars at this particular rate. You know, Senor Hossi was making the point the last time he spoke with us. Because if we continue this way, are we saying, for instance, that going forward, GOIL is not going to increase fuel prices? If the prices should go up on the world market, if the cedi should depreciate, GOIL would be compelled to want to do some of these. And for me, look, the pricing window we are looking at now, we're looking at the 1st to the 15th of December. So all things being equal, one would not have expected the pricing, the price of petroleum products to go down all of a sudden. We know that it was at 6.99 initially. GOIL reduced it to 6.85. They reduced it by 14 pesos. They've reduced it by 15 pesos. Another question is, we're saying we're doing this also to compel, others to reduce it. There's a deregulation policy in place. The deregulation policy is very simple. In petroleum pricing, let us take the hands of officialdom, as in government, away from it. Let industry players determine how they are going to go about it. And so apart from the taxes that government would impose on these products, the remaining pricing is determined by the industry players. Now, if I am an industry player in this sector, and government, based on its control over one of the competitors, pushes it down, I am also compelled to reduce mine. Is that not in itself affecting my cost of doing business? Because I was expecting a certain margin over the period. Would that not affect it? If all of us would also have to go down, even at the end of the year, and some of these entities are listed on the stock exchange, for instance, what would that even mean for those who own shares in these entities?
That is the aspect of this that I am interested in. The governance processes by which a majority shareholder, in fact, government is not the majority shareholder, they have a controlling stake through government agencies that have shares in there. So can a controlling stakeholder compel, because in this case the managing director of GOIL has agreed, and GOIL has now reduced the price since 6 a.m. this morning. So can a controlling stakeholder instruct the managing director to take an action which affects all shareholders of a company that is listed on a stock exchange? Does this break any rules? Does this fall within regulation? Is this right? And you have to understand why this question is important. Because if indeed this can happen across board, you can imagine the amount of manipulation that could occur in corporate structures, sometimes even to the financial benefit of individuals who might take certain decisions and then benefit from the effect on stock prices.
So 2 things that I want to say based on just what you've landed on, what Winston started talking about in terms of the strategy of getting GOIL to reduce and also putting a bit of pressure on the other OMCs. I'm thinking one, quality, because they've always justified the prices, that if you force us to reduce it further, you will be forcing us to do something that is not right, because we care about quality. So if quality says this is what the price should be, then by forcing us to bring it down, would we be compromising on quality? And the other thing is, if really indeed this is a strategy, then is it an ethical marketing strategy that is allowed to play out in the way and manner that we've seen it
and how long can it play out for? Yeah.
So those are just the 2 things. But also remember that the oil marketing companies insist that the tax component on the fuel prices alone constitute about 40%. So can government do something about the taxes and leave the real prices for them to determine?
Well, government has indicated that the taxes would be a challenge, and my understanding from the meeting yesterday is that government indicated that a reduction in taxes is going to be very difficult for the government under the circumstances. What they have done is to suspend the price stabilization and recovery levy for 2 months, and that's another question you want to find answers to. So what happens after the 2 months? Now, if that is brought back automatically, it increases the pricing by 16 pesos, and so that's the challenge government talks about. It says we cannot do this, so the taxes cannot be removed. Now, government is expecting to see that because fuel prices are going down on the world market, when it gets to the next pricing window, all things being equal, it will be reducing further, and so people will be able to reduce the prices on the Ghanaian market. But the other question also is, how about making sure that a Ghanaian currency is able to appreciate? And look, and this is something that I'm going to say. In times past, we've always talked about the exchange rate exposing people. We've talked about exchange rate being an effect of prudent economic management or otherwise. And so if the exchange rate is exposing you, one of the things you have to be doing is to also look within and tell yourself whether you can prudently manage the economy to actually trigger a downward review or an appreciation of the Ghanaian cedi. If that is not done, and the petroleum producing countries decide to reduce production margins, it will trigger another increase in prices. If that happens, are we going to go back, with this cycle over and over again? The long-term effect is this is not sustainable. How do we sustainably solve this? Is what for me is the most important.
So just the final bit, and this is just, as an ordinary Ghanaian. Yesterday we saw how people were stranded, how people had challenges getting to their various workplaces. And I'm asking myself, so government was capable of doing something after all? Waited for this action to happen, the strike vehicles, to say they're not moving before.
Let's be fair to government. They were over a barrel. So yesterday they had to do something. That's probably what has led to this decision with GOIL, a lack of options. And you are right. Maybe if they had been addressing this from the beginning, they would have had more options. But yesterday, things were brought to a head. The country came to a standstill. So they had to do something. And this is what they've chosen to do. But every time a government interferes with the operation of a state-owned institution or a state-controlled institution, I get worried. Because we've run down far too many of them with things like this. I just get a bit of a heart palpitation. I remember Ghana Airways, and I think, yeah, here we go again. Okay, so I'm a bit concerned. I certainly hope that this decision is sustainable, because, yeah, indeed, we are suffering, and we need some relief. But is this the best way? Let's keep talking about it. When we come back, there's another question I want to hear your answer on. Okay, the finance minister has made some announcements of some amendments they are proposing to the budget. Are these amendments enough? Will they be enough, first of all, to change the position of the minority? And secondly, to make you more comfortable in 2022? When we return, we tackle that.
Hello.
Dear valued customer, Semo, the entire customer service team is out for lunch. Please call back in 4 hours.
What? Me nana bedi akona mama me bad service ano. Me kokra.
Nana, with Bobs from Enterprise D, you will love the customer service experience, KK. I am available for you 24/7 on the Enterprise Advantage app, the Enterprise website, and on WhatsApp number 055-400-1924.
Hello, Babs.
Chat with Babs from Enterprise, your contact for insurance, pensions, funeral and property solutions from the Enterprise Group. Dream big with us.
Enterprise, your advantage.
Academic City University College prides itself with hands-on context-based learning geared towards developing future-ready leaders. Our ultra-modern campus is furnished with state-of-the-art facilities to equip our students to lead the digital transformation of the future. We have fully embraced the artificial intelligence revolution and are pleased to announce our new degree programs in artificial intelligence, robotics engineering, and biomedical engineering. It's time to have an electrifying future here at Academic City University College. Admissions are now open. Visit our website act.edu.gh or call us on 055 101 4444 to apply now. Academic City is future ready.
Maudada no pediani bianye di pa and pe wo malt milk ena koko mu a ema milomu da shima.
From Nestle.
Every ahwehwe side de nkrato yi mu agya tum se eye.
Stay hydrated with the refreshing goodness of Voltic Natural Mineral Water.
Voltic, naturally, a product of the Coca-Cola Company. This advert is FDA approved.
This festive season, if you get a nice plate of jollof with some fried chicken, it be plus, add a chilled drink to it, and it go be maximum satisfaction. Charlie, add some ice cream, cupcake, and milkshake with toppings. Then it be super. That be exactly what GoTV they offer you this Christmas. It be enjoyment so with GoTV Super Package. So much channels with different types of entertainment for the whole family. Aquaba Magic, African Magic Urban, WWE, Boomerang, TL Novellas, and more with GoTV Super. Make you get your decoder for 89 Ghana cedis and upgrade to GoTV Super using the My GoTV app and have a super duper brunya. It be enjoyment so. Terms and conditions apply. GoTV. Love it. Reload.
Maudada no pediani bianye di pa and pe wo malt milk ena koko mu a ema milomu da shima.
From Nestle.
Every ahwehwe side de nkrato yi mu agya tum se eye.
He's up bright and early, serving your premium morning radio show. The Morning Man. It's the Morning Man, Kojo Jackson.
You're welcome back. It's the Super Morning Show on Joy. All right, we're asking an important question. Are the amendments made by the finance minister or proposed by the finance minister to the budget, are they enough? Will the minority accept them, change their position? We're about to find out. But first, Winston, what are the amendments, really quickly?
So let me just get to the letter that was written by the Finance Minister to the Speaker of Parliament. And in there, it says, Mr. Speaker, I write to confirm the details of these modifications with regards to Ijapa Royalties Limited. We shall amend paragraph 442 and 443 to take out references to mineral royalties collateralization. It is important to note that any reference to Ijapa was for informational purposes and as such was not reflected in the fiscal framework. He says in respect to the unfortunate tidal waves which rendered about 3,000 people homeless in Keta, K2 South and Angloga, we shall make the necessary budget allocation of at least 10 million Ghana cedis to complete the feasibility and engineering studies for the coastal communities adversely affected. We will broaden the scope of the study to consider a more comprehensive solution to protect Ghana's 540 kilometers of coastline, including the 149 kilometers between Aplau and Pram. And relating to Aker Energy transaction, we shall amend paragraph 829 of the 2022 budget on the acquisition of a stake from Aker Energy and AGM Petroleum by GNPC to reflect the resolution of Parliament dated 6th July 2021. And he talks about the fact that when it comes to the e-levy, having regard to the serious fiscal implications, we will continue our consultations with the minority caucus in Parliament and other relevant stakeholders with a view of achieving consensus and reverting to the House in the shortest possible time.
Okay, we're joined on the phone by the Member of Parliament for Ningo Pram, Mr. Sam George. Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for your time.
Good morning, Kojo, and good morning to your listeners.
We also have the Deputy Finance Minister, Dr. John Kuma. Good morning to you. Great to have you again.
Good morning, Kojo. Good morning to Sam George, and good morning to your listeners.
Excellent. All right. Now, I want to start with the Honourable Member of Parliament for Ningo Prampram, Mr. Sam George, if I may, because the Finance Minister has made a move. He's written to Parliament, and these are the things, as you heard Winston enumerate, that he plans to change in the budget. Are these enough? Will this be enough to change the minority's position?
Well, unfortunately, the minority's position is clear. We made our position clear during the debate. If the finance minister had availed himself to be in Parliament during the budget debate, he would have understood that we said nothing is agreed until everything is agreed. When he talks about AJAPA royalties, I mean, the claims and references that he made in paragraphs 442 and 443 of the budget were unacceptable. And so if he says he's receiving that, it's actually of no consequence because we were never going to pass AJAPA in the first place. When he talks about 10 million Ghana cedis for feasibility and engineering studies on the tidal waves effect on the people of Keita, again, we think that is woefully inadequate. That the Keita problem, the problem at Blekusu, this is a phase 2 project. The feasibility and engineering studies have been completed. The Minister for Works and Housing made the statement on the floor of the House in answering questions on the tidal wave, the issue of tidal waves. He said that they had completed feasibility studies. He said they had actually submitted a bill to the Ministry of Finance. So when the Minister for Finance says he's allocating 10 million Ghana cedis for feasibility studies, what feasibility studies? The ministry has completed it. What we want to see is actual dedication of funds to the securing of Ghana's coastline, starting from Keita all the way to Prampram and Ningo, and continuing all the way to Axim. We need to have a protection of the 540 kilometers of Ghana's coastline from sea erosion. 10 million Ghana cedis is just paying lip service to it. On the Accra Energy transaction, I mean, it's most dishonorable for anyone to want to assume that or to import what Parliament did not say. Parliament was expressed in our approval that we gave. The approval we gave to the Ministry of Energy.
Hello. Do we still have Mr. Sam George? Right. It would appear we've lost Mr. Sam George there. It's very important that we reconnect with him so he can complete the point he was making. But we do have Dr. John Kuma, the Deputy Finance Minister, on the line. Dr. Kuma, according to the Finance Minister in his statement yesterday, the e-levy is still at 1.75%. That directly contradicts what we heard from Mr. Afenyo Markin, who spoke on PM Express on the Joy News channel and said that the new proposal is to bring it down to 1.5%. So what's happened? Is there a U-turn?
No, there's no U-turn. It's part of the negotiations. As part of the negotiations, we have heard all kinds of proposals. Some proposing 0, some proposing 1.5, some proposing 1%. Some have even proposed 2%. Others have proposed 5%. Lawyer Confidential proposed 5%. So clearly, what all this indicates is that we have not reached consensus yet on what figure is acceptable to many Ghanaians. And that is why yesterday the finance minister hastened slowly, in terms of announcing any specific rate. We believe that before the bill is finally presented to Parliament, we will be in a position to firm up exactly what rate is acceptable to all parties. So we are working together, not just with the minority in Parliament, but also with the stakeholders, the telcos, the EMIs, the electronic money issuers who handle Momo and other stakeholders. I believe that when all the consultations are completed, government will firmly announce what rate. I heard my brother talk about the other proposals in respect of the 10 million cedis allocation for the feasibility studies. The unfortunate incident of the tidal waves in Keita is just a part of a bigger problem for all towns and cities along our coastal lines. And government is looking at how we can have a proper study of the issue and come out with a solution that addresses all the coastal towns, including Pram to Azim and all those areas. So he should bear with government as we take a long-term, broader view to addressing the problem,
but
rather than just
Dr. Kumar, Dr.
Yes.
John Kumar. Now, this is very simple. If you look at the minorities, demands, 3 says the government should incorporate in its revised budget adequate measures to address issues relating to the tidal waves disaster in Kerch and other communities. The victims should be supported, and the phase 2 of the Blekusu Coastal Protection Project must find space in the budget. The emphasis is on phase 2 of the Blekusu Coastal Protection Project. So
yes,
they
that's
say,
exactly what we have done.
They say,
if you say phase 2, what does it imply? What's the scope of work? How much do you need to complete that? So it involves a lot of feasibility studies. Feasibility study is just a report to advise government on the kind of work and expenditure required to be able to complete it. So you cannot just conjecture any figure and say, I've given this amount of money. You have to first do your feasibility studies and be sure of the scope of work, the nature of technical engineering, drawing, or whatever that has to be done to be able to.
The phase 2 of the Blekusu project, which was inspected by the Minister of Works and Housing in June this year, hoping to have it captured in the budget. There's no feasibility studies?
Well, we haven't seen it, and if you have a copy, you can show it. But the fact that the minister visited there doesn't mean that, and then expressed, because I believe he went to inspect the phase 1 completion, and expressed hope that the phase 2 will be done. Doesn't mean that you just go there and start phase 2. Just like the phase 1, you need to go through feasibility studies, determine the scope of work and the technical details before government can cost it and give the necessary financial allocations.
So Dr. Kumar, what the finance minister is telling us is that in order to determine the scope of works, it's going to cost us 10 million cedis?
At least. We said at least. Yes, the feasibility studies can be quite expensive if you're doing a good work. And we are talking about the entire coastal. You cannot do only Kita and close your eyes to the potential dangers to the coastal line.
Right.
So we want to do a comprehensive work.
So to be clear, the adjustment that the finance minister is making to the budget is to fund feasibility studies, not to fund the construction of the wall.
We don't even know the cost of that.
Very good. So actually,
we are working towards the entire project.
So to be clear, no provision has been made for the construction of sea defense. It is only for feasibility.
Has been made for the study towards the phase 2 of the Skita Sea Defense.
But not just that, all the way to Pram, according to the finance minister.
Yes, the studies should cover the other areas as well.
So that for the people of Blekusu right now, who whose representatives are calling for their sea defense wall to be funded in the budget, that is yet to happen. It can't happen until after.
It has been captured as part of the allocation for the studies in terms of determining the scope. Where do we start from? When government wants to build a phase 2 of a sea defense, it cannot just send contractors to site. So this is the first step. So government has started the process, and we'll get to the ultimate end.
Okay. So when this project was first designed in phases, somebody determined that what is left should be phase 2. That was a technical decision made, that what has not yet been done will be part of a phase 2. So is government telling us that decision, that technical decision to put all this in phase 2 was done without a feasibility study?
The fact that you project the rest of the work done will be in phase 2 doesn't mean that you have gone ahead to determine what phase 2 entails. Let's be patient and do step-by-step approach to addressing the problem. Yes, we can anticipate to do phase 2, but what does it mean in terms of the scope of work, the technical details, requirement, and all kinds of things. So it is easy to say you are going to do phase 2, but what exactly does it mean? And that's the answer or the question government wants to answer with this allocation. And once we have the specific details on what is required for the phase 2, then we can make the necessary budgetary allocation.
So on 10th November, while addressing the press at the Jubilee House, Director of Communications at the Presidency, Eugene Ahing, indicates that feasibility studies for phase 2 has been completed and work will commence. This is Eugene Ahing and saying that feasibility studies has been completed when he addressed the press. Are you saying that is not true?
Well, I am not in a position to say it's not true, but I haven't seen it. So if it's brought to our attention and we already know what the phase 2 entails, then we can go ahead and take a decision.
But this is one government. Are you saying that government does not communicate and so they know something that the Ministry of Finance does not know?
I have stated to you our position as a Ministry of Finance. We are prepared to respond to the Qatar problem. We have gone ahead to make, and not just the Qatar problem, I've told you that we are taking a broader view because what we have seen in Qatar can happen in Pram or Azim the next day. So you don't go and do firefighting approach. We want to have a broader approach in dealing with the problem. So we are prepared to carry out further feasibility studies for not just the phase 2, but the coastal lines and make sure that we have a long-term solution to the problem.
So, Dr. Kumar, before the statement was issued yesterday, did the Finance Ministry check with the Ministry of Works and Housing to find out whether feasibility studies have been done for Blekuso?
At the moment, we don't have any report on phase 2 of Blekuso.
Did you check? Did you check with the Works and Housing Ministry?
I cannot confirm that.
Okay. Would that not have been the thing to do before allocating any money for a feasibility study? Would it not be basic that you would check to see whether or not there has been a feasibility study?
That is the position I have stated to you, but you seem to have a different understanding. I'm saying that what we know is what we have stated.
Well, Dr. Kumar, you said that you cannot confirm that you've checked.
Yes, I cannot confirm.
That's right. That's why I'm asking. I mean, if you can't confirm that you've checked, then you haven't checked, have you?
So the fact that I cannot confirm doesn't mean we have not checked. So let's leave it there. I'm saying that the minister has put it out that we don't have the feasibility studies on the phase 2 and the coastal lines. And in terms of what government wants to do there, even if there is this, granted what you are saying is in respect of the Qatar phase 2, how about the other coastal areas that we need to work on to have a long-term solution? So what the minister put it out was clear, that is in respect of the entire coastal area that we need to have a firm solution to the problem. So don't limit the scope. And what we put out was very clear, that we want to have a broader long-term solution to the entire coastal problem.
Okay. Now, in the minister's statement to Parliament, for instance, and even in speaking to the press, he talks about the fiscal implications, the serious fiscal implications of the e-levy.
Can you raise your voice? I can't hear you.
Now, can you hear me? Is it? I'm asking. Yes, I'm asking about the e-levy because you've talked about.
Oh, the e-levy.
Yes,
okay.
The e-levy. You've talked about the fiscal implications of it as part of the discussions that you're having, because there's a talk of having to review it. Now, help us understand. Help us understand, if reviewed, how will that impact your plans for the 2022 fiscal year? If reviewed downwards.
Yes. So it is projected in the fiscal framework that the e-levy will bring us about 6.9 billion cedis in 2022. and that is at 1.75%. So let's say that people say reduce it to 0. That means that you are losing all the 6.9 billion. If they say bring it to 1, let's say you are getting about 4 billion. So you have a deficit of 2.9 billion. Where do you get it from? So you have options, either to drop a lot of things that government wanted to do within 2022, or to find another source to replace what you are losing. You get it? If they say do 1.5, you are losing about 1.something billion. Where is the substitute? So these are the engagements that we need to be transparent about and engage all those who are offering different proposals. That what is the alternative? Are you proposing extra fuel tax, or what is your alternative that for us to be able to close that fiscal gap?
Okay.
So that's the engagement we are talking about.
And talking about closing that fiscal gap, you've also talked about the fact that, would it be the case that government would, for instance, decide, okay, let's cut certain expenditure or let's go about borrowing? So far in government's dealings with all these groups, what is the idea that government has? Is government considering if it has to reduce the levy, the percentage, for instance, reducing expenditure or cutting expenditure in certain areas, or considering having to borrow and as a result, increasing the fiscal deficit?
Yes, that's another danger. So if you say you are not taxing your people, it means you have to go and borrow. And now we have borrowed to a level where our debt to GDP is about 77.5%. So there's a general call for us to slow down borrowing. Okay? So it's not another option, because if you are borrowing, you're only deferring your obligations. Because in the end, you are still going to pay the funds borrowed with extra interest and all that. It's coming at extra cost.
Okay.
So these are some of the honest discussions we all have to have. That what are the options if we say we are not going to tax and we are going to borrow? We are only deferring your current obligations to future, which will come with extra burden. And one of the key objectives of the 2022 budget was to ensure fiscal consolidation and debt sustainability. We are projecting a positive primary balance of 0.4% in 2022. That means that we are trying to consolidate and bring down our debt. And that is possible with this yield levy. So if they say don't do the yield levy, go and borrow, what they are saying
Well, they're
is
not
that
saying don't do the
increase your
e-levy,
deficit gap.
go and borrow. They're also saying check your expenditure, and that's the other point.
Yes, I will come to the expenditure
let's come to that.
Yes, so government can, we can all agree to say instead of doing 200 kilometers of roads for us in the whole year, just come and do 50 kilometers. So these are all options we have as a country. But, we have to, in this circumstance, and government has weighed all these options and come to the conclusion. But let's not forget, those who are concerned about the fiscal space have also made a suggestion that even if it is possible, government should do 2% and make sure that we raise enough revenues to bring down our debt and be able to carry out massive infrastructure in the country, do much more allocation on entrepreneurship and reduce unemployment among young people, and then also bring down the debt. So these are all suggestions that have come, and that's what the minister said.
Well,
let's continue to share.
Yes, John, some have also told you that if out of 18 million Ghanaians who are earning income, 2.4 million of them are paying income taxes, you should be looking at increasing the percentage of those who pay income taxes and not be imposing indirect taxes. It's like a lazy man's approach to solving the problem.
Well, all these are good suggestions. We wish that everybody who
so why don't you take that route and drop the e-levy?
We are doing that as well. Remember, we have now made TIN numbers be replaced with Ghana card, and that has shot the taxpayers' percentage from the 4.6% we knew to now 86%. So going forward, it is the rates that we have introduced, the revenue assurance, compliance, and enforcement measures, is going to now help us to increase the number of people who are earning income and not paying taxes. So all those measures were factored even in the revenue projections.
Dr. Kuma, how are those measures factored? What is
Raise,
the
raise
target?
If you check the
what is the target for collections now that we have everybody's tin? How much are you expecting to collect extra?
I think we're expecting extra 500 million from raise.
That's even less than what you are going to get from the indirect tax. Does that add up?
Well, you cannot say that income tax should be more than indirect tax. It depends on exactly what your objective is. The objective is to get as many people to contribute to the tax system as possible. And if indirect tax brings you more revenue, if you look at the fiscal framework, the highest contribution is VAT, which is also indirect tax, and it's bringing us about 14 billion. And the next handle will be the e-levy, which is about 6.9 billion. So you cannot say that all of a sudden income tax should be more than indirect taxes in the country. I don't know where in the world.
Well, doesn't that depend on how many people you are targeting for income tax? So how many more people?
We are targeting everybody, but you don't know how much everybody earns to be able to give you that amount you are looking at.
Okay, but you don't expect that
the
everybody's
earnings compensation allocation in the budget is 35 billion. Okay, so if income tax on it is even 10%, you are still not going to get the value of the e-levy.
Really? At 10% income tax
on
everybody?
Yeah, so that would give you 3.5 billion.
Okay. All right. So I want to say a big thank you.
Thank you, my brother.
Actually, just before you go, I think Winston has.
Yes. So
Winston.
Yes. I'm just looking at Appendix 3A, the summary of central government operations, and I'm looking at revenue, for instance. So we're looking at income tax, revenue on income and property. So, for instance, when it comes to company taxes, we're looking at 18 billion. And so, contrary to VAT being the highest of 14 billion, and we're looking at other direct taxes amounting to 18.53 billion. In total, you're looking at 38 billion. So you're looking at 36 billion if we look at taxes on companies and other direct taxes. The indirect taxes would come in there. But the question really, and finally on this bit, you have said...
You mean taxes on companies, right?
Yes, on companies, 18 billion.
Not income taxes.
Yes, and I mean, and direct taxes being 18 billion. Now, let's do this. You have increased the percentage of people known to tax authorities from 4% to 86% of adults. That is over 1,000% increase. So today, I am known to the Ghana Revenue Authority. Of course, I've been known to the Ghana Revenue Authority long before today. But that person who was never known to the Ghana Revenue Authority, because of the conversion of his Ghana card to his tax identification number, he is known. The question is, how are we leveraging on this to generate more income for the states?
Yes, and that is where we are. So now we have potential taxpayers increasing from that 4% to 86%. Now it's up to the GRA, and that's why I told you about the raise committee or the raise team, who are now going to assist the GRA in going after all those potential taxpayers and ensure that they also contribute their quota to the state.
Right.
So yes, we have increased the potential for tax increment. We now have to translate that into actual payment, and that is the enforcement that we are talking about.
And in enforcing that, shouldn't you be shelving the e-levy? Because now we know that if we do this, we're going to be generating more.
But I'm saying that has been factored in the revenue measures already. How much we expect to get,
right?
Because it's going to be in stages, and how much we are expecting to get this year is already factored in the fiscal arrangement.
And you mentioned about 500
million.
500 million. So, Dr. Kuma, let me ask this. Currently, for the 4% who are paying income tax, what's the approximate amount that we are getting from that every year? Or what did we get last year?
I need to check with the GRA.
Can you estimate?
No, I need to check.
Ballpark?
What did you say?
I was just asking a ballpark figure, possibly.
No, I will check for you. Don't worry. I talk to you every day, Kojo.
Yeah.
Let's give correct figures out so I can check and get back to you.
That's fine, because I'm curious to understand, how we landed on the 500 million target. So, yeah, if you're able to get me that detail.
Well, when it comes to tax revenue projections, you try to be as much conservative as you can. It doesn't mean that you could end up getting double of that, but in your projections, especially in your fiscal framework, you have to be as conservative as possible.
Okay, I want to say a big thank you to you,
Thank you,
Dr. Kumar, for your time with us. And that's the Deputy Finance Minister, Dr. John Kumar, speaking about the proposed adjustments or amendments, modifications that the Finance Minister seeks to make to the budget. We're still asking the question, are these modifications enough for you? Do they meet your expectations? And will this make 2022 more affordable for you? When we come back, we'll look at these and more.
No victim of gender-based violence should be silent. Every human deserves dignity and respect. If your health, dignity, and security is undermined, you must seek assistance. Call the Orange Support Center for assistance on toll-free number 0800 111 222. This message is by the kind courtesy of the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA.
Charlie, so it's actually raining and we can't hear any sound. As for this, your house, when it's raining, no sound. When the sun is up, the interior is cool. What roof are you using?
They use Ico roofing shingles from Interface Limited. Long lasting and beautiful.
Ico roofing shingles. We all for move to Interface and get this Ico roofing shingles.
Interface Limited is the leading supplier and installer of finishing input materials for the building and construction industry in Ghana. Call us on 0274 999999 or visit our website at
www.interfacelimited.net. Facebook Interface Limited GH. Instagram Interface.limited.
Boy, the AC you bought me, I will get that and many more at a greater discount. Electroland Ghana has got Ghanaians covered on EGL Fantastic Christmas promotion.
Surprise! This is straight from EGL. Oh my, it's Fantastic Christmas promo. As Santa Claus is coming to town, it's got to feel like winter. This Christmas, grab the NASCO eco-friendly Air Doctor Split AC, starting at $1,799. Air Doctor, no Corona. Grab your NASCO 32 inches flat LED TV for $799 Ghana cedis. What more can you ask for? For your family and loved ones this Christmas, grab your media tabletop fridge starting at $799 Ghana cedis. We will give you a media freezer, $1,299 Ghana cedis. And tell your mama that Toshiba washing machine front load is going for $2,699.
Fantastic Christmas promo is really everywhere.
Hurry up and enter any EGL showroom. Fantastic Christmas promo is everywhere.
The Ghana League Clubs Association, GALCA, in partnership with the Office of the First Lady, presents the maiden edition of the First Lady's Cup in fulfillment of her pledge to transform women football and advance the empowerment of girls soccer in schools. The showpiece will see reigning Ghana Women's Premier League champions, Hazakes ladies, battle it out with runners-up Ampim Dakwa ladies for a chance to lay their hands on the maiden trophy. The GALCA First Ladies Cup will take place at the Crossport Stadium on December 10th, 2021, with COVID-19 protocols strictly adhered to. And remember, admission is free. The Maiden GALCA First Ladies Cup is brought to you by GMPC, GCB Bank, Agricultural Development Bank, GOIL, Total, Vodafone, Gasem, Hisense, TT Brothers, Petroleum Commission, Apex Bank, Cocoa Board, Fidelity Bank, Bost, and Ghana Gas. It's the Maiden GALCA First Ladies Cup on the 10th of December 2021, 4 p.m. sharp at the Accra Sports Stadium for free. This event is powered by Primeval Media.
Wow, wow, wow. Hope you have heard, rent to own
zone now in Ghana. The Flan City Extension Project Rent to Own Land and House Ownership Scheme by the Ningo Prampram District Assembly and its partners, supported by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development and the UN Habitat, are right here in Ghana. So be smart, because where you trade and live really matters. Apply now and own a home or a fully serviced land. Wait a minute, don't forget to join our affiliate housing cooperatives also. Special offers last up to October 31st, 2021. Call us on 055 55 3300 or 0577 911101 and 055 7054 635. Website newaccra.city. Plant City Extension Project, shaping Ghana's urban future.
These holidays, choose to be wacky.
Ooh, that sounds like fun!
Choose to be weird. Choose oodles of fun, adventure, and excitement.
Family adventure!
Choose to be awesome.
Ooh!
To be out there.
Y'all ready to get your trick-or-treat on?
And to laugh your socks off. It's your moment to choose joy, to choose to get connected to DSTV.
This December, Samini will ignite a fire that cannot be quenched. Where will you be when the true king of African dancehall takes GH on a journey into decades of showmanship? The Jam of the Year beckons as Image Bureau and Samini Music presents the Samini Experience Concert. It's happening Friday, December 24th, Grand Arena. Get your tickets now to the biggest concert of the year, the Samini Experience Concert. Selling now at only 250 cedis standard and 350 cedis premium at www.saminiexperience.com. Buy now till December 1st and enjoy a whopping 10% discount. Kind courtesy MTN. All COVID-19 protocols will be strictly observed. The Samini Experience Concert, produced by Image Bureau with support from Joy Entertainment, Special Ice, and proudly brought to you by MTN, everywhere you go.
Wow, what a beautiful and awesome day. It's time to share some secrets on how I feel good in a home where I have everything. Hold on, Linda, are you there?
Yes.
It's a Samsung Christmas Awesome Deals promotion. Break it down.
Grab the new Samsung single door fridge at an interesting discount, 1,499 Ghana cedis.
Samsung UHD 4K Smart, 50 inches at 3,999 Ghana cedis. Oh, this December is gonna be cold like winter. With a new price of Samsung Split AC R410 starting at 1,999.
Wow. Sound Tower starts at 1,999 Ghana cedis.
Grab your powerful Samsung washing machine, 6 kg, starting at 999.
This and many more at an affordable price.
Woo! Tell your family and loved ones. Samsung Christmas Awesome Deals. Grab yours now.
The boys are back, oh! The boys are back! Imagine inviting great footballers like Ronaldo, Messi, and Mbappe into your home. Imagine feeling the big mad temperament of football's fiercest rivals in your living room. Imagine enjoying the home ground advantage of witnessing the best of Serie A, La Liga, Premier League, UEFA Europa, and many more leagues all in English. Or stop imagining. Just get a GoTV decoder now at 89 Ghana cedis and upgrade to GoTV Max to turn your home into the home ground of great football. To purchase a new decoder, SMS GoTV to short code 1731. GoTV. Love it.
Drama from day one.
Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best.
Welcome back.
Joy 99.7 FM.
Welcome back. It's the Super Morning Show on Joy, and we're having a blast here, getting into the Christmas spirit. Few minutes to go on the show. Let's see if we can wrap this up beautifully. Thanks for all your text messages. We'll read a few in a moment. They were brought to you by the kindness of Glycocritical Illness Plan, GSIP. It's in your best interest to survive. And Fabri-Metal, your partner in steel.
Now, FOB 500 steel rods are manufactured right here locally by Fabri-Metal Ghana Limited using international quality standards. They're winners of the 2021 Steel Manufacturing Company of the Year and Excellence in Corporate Social Responsibility, and they pride themselves as the industry leader in steel, providing the local market with import substitute at affordable prices. If your business is steel, definitely call Fabri Metal